So in part one, we finished our pano, and we just need to remove the semi-transparent pixels from along the edge, and then create an alpha channel, and it will be finished. Now this representation I've done isn't really in scale for a normal pano. It's far too close. There's not enough sky, so I'm just going to quickly make it look a bit more like a pano should. Now there's also parts of the layers below and above that we can't see from when I move them about, so there's images around the outside here, so I'm just going to trim it. So if I select everything and crop it, that will just cut off any excess parts there was, and I can now just scale that layer down. So I'll go transform scale, and I'll go to 50%. I'll be a bit more realistic. 50% height. And I'll just duplicate this as well by holding out. I can duplicate another layer and then merge it back down again. So that's more like a pano would look, with a fair bit of sky and much smaller landscape than how I had it before. So removing the semi-transparent pixels, let's just zoom back up again. In order to get rid of these pixels, the first thing to do, hold Control down and click on the layer thumbnail. This will select every pixel that's solid or semi-transparent. The only thing it won't select is fully transparent. So it's basically selected the whole of our panorama. Now if I turn the quick mask on and go up to threshold, image adjustments, threshold, I can actually adjust which part of the mask it's going to consider solid and which part transparent. With the threshold, there's no semis, everything is either solid or transparent, and by moving this to the left or right, just decides which pixels are which. So the more solid ones or the less solid ones will become transparent depending on where you set this mark. So it's just a matter of trial and error and personal preference, but we could really just leave it in the middle for now, and then there'll be anything less than 50% will be removed, anything solid more than 50% solid will be kept. So we set our threshold there, and now we need to inverse the mask. After I've unselected the quick mask, we need to inverse it so that it's now selecting the sky area, and we can now remove any semi-transparent pixels that are in that area by simply clicking clear, and that will wipe out any semi-transparent pixels there were on this side of the line. Now we've just got the opaque side to turn solid as well, so these pixels are still going to be semi-transparent. I can show that by turning the information on, and normally it's set to actual color here, and as you point to pixels it gives you red, green, blue information and such like. But you can right click on the eyedropper and put it onto opacity, and it will show you, as you point to pixels, the opacity. So these are 0%, so they're completely transparent. There's 100%, so that's opaque, and as we get near the edge you'll see there's a 64%. The semi-transparent ones are going to show up And you can see now, because I've cleared this side of the line right up, they're all 0% right up to the line, because we cleared all of the ones on this side. So we've just got to make this side 100%. And the way we do that is very simple. If I turn the mask off again, all we need to do is create duplicate layers, half a dozen or so, and then we're going to merge these back down on themselves again. And what this does, each time you merge an image onto itself, the transparency gets destroyed slightly. So by doing this half a dozen times, you'll eventually end up with a completely opaque image. So if I merge this down, merge down, merge down, all the way back to our original layer. If we now check our information, hopefully all those semi-transparent pixels should now be 100% solid, and there they are, 100%, 100%. Oh no, there's one that's 99 there. So a couple more times. Duplicate layer. Let's do another couple. So maybe 8 to 10 will be the ideal amount. Merge down, merge down. Right, now 100, 100, 100. Yeah, they all appear to be 100 now. So we've got a totally solid panorama, and it's very simple to add the alpha channel. All we need to do, again, hold the control and click the layer to select our pano, go to the channels and down to the save selection as channel and click it, and there's our alpha created. Now I'm not sure if it's important, but of all the other panos I've seen, they've always had a transparent line along this bottom edge, so I usually create that as well. I've forgotten to do it this time, which is typical in a tutorial, but I can soon add it if I just select the alpha and draw a box along, just a sliver along the bottom. I'll set my brush to black, get a big brush, and whack on the transparent bottom edge like that, and then onto the actual image itself. I can select an eraser brush and do the same thing, just rub out the bottom. Like that. And now we just need to turn the background on and flatten our image. And there's our panorama. Now we need to save it as a TGA, so I'll go File, Save As, select Targa. I've already got one called that, so we'll call this Pano Demo 2. I've got the alpha channel ticked, and it will ask me to choose the bits per pixel, so I want 32-bit, and click OK. And there's our panorama ready to add into APCD.